Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for July 8th, 2025. We've got an Allies Kingdom today with Gang of Pickpockets, which we're not going to spend a favor on turn one, obviously, so discard. Sentinel Modified Trashing. Underling and Guildmaster can offset the pickpockets. We've got draw is just blacksmith and capital city with help from guildmaster or town or barbarian or town crier or elder, I guess. There's a lot. Okay, there's a lot of things that can let the capital city turn into draw rather than just sifting. Plus buy is town. That's it. There's also gains from modify. Town crier can gain silvers. Okay, and then actions, capital city and town. Elder Town, it has a nice thing where you can get like the actions and the buys. Obviously, Elder Blacksmith is always potentially a thing. Is there anything else? Oh, modify, Elder Modify. Yeah, that's a fun one. I definitely would not mind modifying estates, but at the same time, clearing out starting cards as Sentinel looks good, and as I mentioned, Town Crier can gain silvers, so we shouldn't black for modified targets if we go for that a little bit later for modify. I mean, so I definitely think we want to open with Sentinel, and the question is what else. The hand size attack isn't necessarily a huge problem with Blacksmith. Draw with capital city draw, you would rather not suffer it. We could just open with a town. It is flexible. We could open with an underling, which is the reason I was mentioning the hand size attack. Just like get going on picking up favors already. That looks like a 2-5, but may not be. I guess I don't think it's super important early to... I mean, we already have one favor. I don't think it's super important to have more than that. So I think I want to go for a town. Okay, well, I was saying, open Sentinel, we'll just use Sentinel to trash estates, but we've got 5 in hand here. I wasn't necessarily expecting that. I think I will just grab a modify already. Modify on copper isn't even that bad here with Town Crier. So meaning they don't rotate, I guess. Alright, and we will take a Town Crier here. Play the Sentinel. Okay. Well, we do have the modify to trash the estates, so just hitting coppers with Sentinel is not too bad. Oh, this is not great, though. Alright, what did they do? State to town. They haven't gotten a Sentinel, so I'm already feeling like the bot is going to be a little bit struggling a little bit with that. So we got 3 here. We could just go ahead and take a Blacksmith. Like, Blacksmith does generally look pretty good, and we do have a Village in our deck. We could also take the Underling. I think I prefer the Blacksmith. Okay, now here... This could be the turn to spend the favor, but if we see the Blacksmith, I mean, odds are we won't, but I think I'm just going to discard. Alright. Unfortunately, we can't get another town crier because those have been rotated off. So I guess we're just going to take another town. Leave it at that. Alright, they get an emissary. Yeah, emissary, I guess I missed that. That can also... Oh, and contract. There's a lot of favor generators, actually. I just sort of overlooked it. Alright. Set up our next hand pretty nicely here. What we're not going to likely get to do is buy anything, but... I want to rotate... Well, we're going to have 3... I think. Or do we have another estate down there? Maybe that is an estate. Well, it's not like we get much value out of rotating anyway. Yeah, it is an estate. That's annoying. Alright. Now do we spend a favor? So, we've trashed 4 coppers. I guess they've modified one in the state. So we have Town Crier, Blacksmith, Copper, Estate, Modify, Sentinel. Wait, that can't be right. It must only be... How... Town Crier... Oh, the modify's in hand. Okay, Town Crier, Blacksmith, Copper, Sentinel, Estate in those 6 cards. Yeah, I'm just gonna discard. Okay. Well, now we can line things up. Very nice. Although, actually, not that nice, because I wanted to see the blacksmith. But... Let's play the town, draw the town crier. We're going to modify estate to another town, and then I think take a silver off the town crier to play. Still think I'm not going to rotate. We don't necessarily need to draw with Blacksmith. Like, we can just do it with Capital City and Emissary. And again, I didn't talk about Emissary for draw for some reason. I don't know. Alright, now we definitely are safe to discard. Action. Well, this is... I would have liked to see the other town first, but... Oh well. Do you want to trash the copper? Guess... The awkward thing about this is that we have to play the town in order to get the actions to be able to, like, play Sentinel and then play Modify. But then at that point... Oh, well, we can play the town crier to draw another card, but if we were to play Modify first, and then if we wanted to play both... If we want to play Sentinel, trash the copper, and then play Modify, gain a card, and then draw it, we need to play the town before that, which means we need to play Sentinel, and then town that draws nothing, and then Modify, and then Town Crier, which maybe that's fine. I mean, what do we want to pick up here? We could get a Guildmaster. We could, like, with the, we could do silver to guildmaster. We'd still only have 3 coins then, so we'd be taking another blacksmith, which is probably fine. We could also just take another town. I mean, we're pretty done with the Sentinel anyway. Another thing we could do is modify the Sentinel into a Guildmaster. And just plan to modify Copper. Like, the only problem with that is that it might be a little while before we get the opportunity, because we're going to want to trash the estate. I think I would like to trash the Copper. So I think I'm gonna go what would really be nice here is to be able to gain a silver and gain, like, 2 other cards, like, but we're 1 coin short of that. Which would have been the argument for keeping the Copper. But I think we just go town blacksmith. This is a little bit unfortunate. I think we're actually going to spend the favor here. Because I want to modify the silver. Oh, wait. I want to modify the Sentinel. I forgot. Oops. Alright, well... Alright. Let's get the Guildmaster. Draw to 6. On actions with this. So do we want to gain another silver, or do we want plus buy? We're not really going to get too much value out of having 7 coins and 2 buys, I don't think. So probably gain the silver, which means play the Guildmaster, play this for actions. I guess it doesn't actually matter about this part, because we're not gonna use the silver this turn, but I just wanted to get the favor, so I wanted to get the Guildmaster in play. Do we want to go for Elder? I mean, it works pretty well with our deck right now. I think so. Wait a minute. Gain a card. Oh, right, we already spent our favor. Right, that's right, that's right. Okay. Alright, I'll spend another favor so that we can modify the silver. I'd like to use at least one of these towns for buys this turn. It's not really working out, though. I guess we can afford to play this. Well, here, we'll do this. We'll gain the silver now. Trying to 6 with this blacksmith. We bottom decked the the elder. Okay, I think we draw 2 with the blacksmith now. Oh, this is really annoying order. I want to get the double. I want to get the elder effect on the town. I guess if we modify into another elder, though, that doesn't really help, does it? Shoot. We draw 2 cards, then we play the elder, then we play the town, and then we can't draw the card that we modify into, which is something else I wanted to do. We play blacksmith now for card action. We can, but we can draw this silver with that, but then, again, we have the same problem. This is just... What we can do is modify into a town, I guess. Guess that's the play. Do elder modify, but I think that's actually just worse anyway. I think we don't play the Guildmaster yet, because I think the action part actually does matter. But now we didn't really need both of those actions. It's all just sort of awkward. All right, let's get another elder and capital city. It would be nice to have another modify as well, but we could modify into modify. But having a little bit more reliability here looks good. All right, once again, I think it's better to just use a favor here than discard down. Okay, so we can just straight draw with the capital city. Probably would just want to do that. I guess the question is, do we want to cycle as well? Probably. Okay. At least one more town for draw should be fine. Do Elder Town. That looks good. Okay. Now, let's do the modify to modify thing. Turn this into another elder. I think this will work the way that I want it to. Or we could just take the coins, I guess, and we don't have to. Doesn't matter whether, like, I think if I do gain silver plus on card plus an action, it will draw the silver. But I suppose the coins gain silver amounts to the same thing anyway. All right. More elder. More capital city. Just take 2 more capital cities. The more capital cities we have, the more buys we can have, because we can convert actions from town into buys as needed. The elders help with that too, of course, but I guess the one thing is we're gonna run out of silver. Be thinking about that. Like we could take another town crier to help with that. That might actually be correct. Our gains are otherwise somewhat limited. Just for like specifically next turn. I just don't love having like, yeah, I don't know. I think, I mean, the other thing we could do is modify the Guildmaster. We don't super need it anymore. We've got 7 favors. That should last us the rest of the game. So if we need to convert into something else. This question is, how worried should I be about dudding? Yeah. Should I be more worried about that or about upside? The bar has gotten reasonably thin, but it still has 5 coppers left. Yeah, I think I'm okay with waiting on the town crier. So the thing we could do now, I've been not really talking about it. I'm not a fan of Barbarian and its ilk, but we could turn the Guildmaster into a Barbarian and start attacking with it. We've got better deck control. That could be pretty devastating. Do Elder Modify, still get to draw, or well, more importantly, get the action. I think I prefer Elder Town to Elder Blacksmith, actually. Just getting that buy is really nice. Okay. And we're not going to play all these. We have 2 Elders left, so we can Elder Town without... Yeah, I'm gonna play at least one more town this way. That's what I'm trying to... Where I'm trying to go with this. All right, Capital City... We could cycle out the Modify Silver, but you kind of want that, I think. So maybe we just... Although, I mean, with the Blacksmith, it's like... It's kind of like free money. I guess we could discard Capital City Town. That's not crazy. Or should it be Double Town? No. Like, we want to draw 6 with Blacksmith again. We modify the silver, we discard 2. We can't really get, like, 1 additional card out of our hand very easily. So, I think we do that. Alright, and I think we just take another Barbarian here. Right, Elder Town. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we do want to hit the last town with our Elder as well. So I guess we're just going to have to play Capital City and see. Or we could play Town Crier. We do know we want to gain a silver with the Town Crier for next turn. And like in theory, if we have the silver in our deck, then next turn, instead of doing what we did this turn, we can also like trash a silver and then the silver that we already have and then gain another silver. So where I'm going with this is that if we need to draw 2 with Capital City, like to pay 2 to draw 2, we should have the card, the extra card. So do that. And what is that last card? It's not a blacksmith, it's not a town. It's not an elder. It's not a capital city. It's not a modify. It's not a barbarian. Huh. Or maybe it is a capital city. Oh, I think it... Yeah, I do have 3. Okay, it is a capital city. Alright, so we don't need to draw 2. We also had more actions than we needed, which means we probably could have done things a little bit differently, but whatever. Alright, turning 2 of their useful cards into underlings that they don't need anyway seems like a pretty good deal. Might be time to start taking provinces. We have 2 modifies, so we can start churning through those. Province. Another capital city. We could take an emissary for some additional draw. I mean, we do effectively have the terminal space, but I'm not sure that that actually ends up being better than capital city anyway. We could also just take Province Town Crier. That feels like maybe a little bit much on the stop cards. We take Capital City or Emissary. We probably still take Town Crier just so we have more ability to do the silver modified thing if we want to. The alternative would be to take an underling, but we don't really need underling right now anyway. I do like the reliability of the capital cities. I think I'm going to go with that. Three elders in our starting hand. Wow. Maybe we just go ahead and do Elder Town Crier here so that we can draw with capital city if we need to. Without having to discard, I mean, maybe we'll want to discard anyway, but... Like, we didn't super need Elder to be playing all those towns last turn, so... Capital City Guildmaster. We are also getting to the point where we could potentially look at a pile-out Capital City Townsfolk. We've got 2 modifies. We would need 5 buys. That is a lot. We had 4 buys last turn. So, not out of reach necessarily. I mean, we'd have to play every single... No, we'd have to play all but 1 town for buy or with an elder. Alright, well... I think I'm going to do... that... We wouldn't want to rotate this, because if we were going to modify, we'd rather modify into Miller than buy Town Crier than the other way around. Alright, I think we just play Capital City here and see... Okay, yeah, so now we discard to decline, and then we'll just go ahead and Elder Blacksmith. I think we've got enough actions. I mean, if we want to go for the win this turn, we probably take the action here because we know we need to play all these towns for buys. We don't super need to go for the win here, so I think I'd rather just draw more cards. Okay. Just play Capital City first, I guess. Do we want to set up for this blacksmith? Discard, like, Town Crier? Play at least one of these for card actions. Modify... Oh, I think I meant to maybe discard the modify. Anyway, I was thinking modify silver into Capital City. I don't think we're going to end the game this turn, but I mean, we want the Capital City anyway. All right, so we've played one town. If we were going to get to 5 buys, we would need to play all 4 of the remaining towns for plus buy. I just don't think it's worth worrying about. I am willing to just play one. Well, hold on. 1, 2. Okay, we still have a couple more we can find. Yeah. All right. Let's do that. And then Elder Town. We've got one more Elder down there. We've got a town in our discard pile. All right, now we're going to need to draw with the Capital Cities some, but that's fine. Well, maybe they'll set us up by taking a Miller. No, okay. Reasonable. Elder Town. Oh, man. We are hitting all of their 5s. Ooh, they did take a Miller. Is this doable? Looks like it is. Modify Town Crier to Miller. Buy 2 Millers, Town Crier, Capital City. How much does that cost? 5, 6, 7, and 8? Yeah? Wow. Well, the bot probably shouldn't have done that, huh? That's all 4 of our elders, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all 5 of our towns. Yeah, okay. Or we can modify this silver into a Capital City. Well, not really the way I was expecting that to end. But, yeah, I have found with these allies-heavy kingdoms, the townsfolk end up being, like, better than they would be otherwise, because Elder tends to find a lot of targets. Like, if all Elder was doing was enabling Blacksmith, I think it would be, like, I would be much more interested in being like, yeah, okay, I do want some emissaries. And, I mean, I'm sure you could make the argument that I should have taken some emissaries anyway. But, the fact that you can combine it with Town and Modify, like, is really nice. And so, like, I didn't even play it on Blacksmith all that many times. Normally, like, if it's just townsfolk, you know, and no other synergy, then normally, like, Elder Blacksmith is, like, the best you can do with Elder. But here it was like, well, I get, more extra actions by playing it on town anyway. And effectively the extra cards are the same, right? Like town, I mean, if I want the buy, if I don't care about the buy, then it doesn't. Then there's playing on the town isn't valuable, but I mean, I generally do care about the buy. And so, like, if you look at it as well, otherwise I would just play the town for buy coin. Then if I get card and actions, it's one more action and the same number of cards as if blacksmith goes from +6 cards to +6, or not +6, but draw to 6 and to draw to 6 and then draw another card and another action. So yeah, it's just kind of better. Modify is the same, but it's just like having more targets gives you more flexibility. So yeah, and then on top of that you have the Elder giving you the coins to set up the capital city draw, which I mean we didn't need to use that much of, but it's still obviously very helpful to have the option without having to discard. But then obviously also the capital city synergizes with the blacksmith. I mean, like, I don't think you have to play it that way at all. I think you could totally play this with just like capital city emissary draw. But this works really nicely, and it's easier to get the components early off the modifying estates. So that helps. I mean, I guess mostly what I did with that actually is gain towns, but also like I didn't have much money in my deck because I was clearing out the coppers with Sentinel, so I could afford the cheaper stuff more easily, and then picking up the 5s later with modifying all the silvers. I don't need to gain as many different things if I don't need the emissaries. Just take the capital cities. This is the first time I think I can remember at least that I've taken a guild master, built up a chunk of favors and been like, okay, I don't need any more favors. I'm done. I'm trying to even think what other ally would that be a relevant consideration with? Maybe Peaceful Cult or Plateau Shepherds or something, but then Peaceful Cult, Plateau Shepherds, it could be, it just hasn't come up, I guess. Peaceful Cult, it's more likely that by the time you did that, you would, I don't know, there's probably some other trasher that you can get going faster than that anyway, or whatever. But I mean, the other thing is it has to make sense to remove the guildmaster from your deck, which in this case, it wasn't I actively wanted to. It was well, I have this other modify and I can attack with barbarian, which is a rude thing to do, and I don't really like it. But I also don't think it mattered. This is one of the things I don't like these kinds of cards that trash the trashing attacks. But I do actually think in general they can be pretty weak. And here, yes, we did trash a bunch of the bots' better cards into underlings that weren't going to do anything, or the Miller. But the thing is, the game was already pretty in hand by that point. I don't actually think it made much difference. So I don't like them, but I don't actually think they're that strong. It was 4 barbarian hits, right? 1 on the last turn, or a pair on the last turn and a pair in the turn before. So emissary to underling, guildmaster to Miller, and then the turn before modify to underling. Hitting the modify would have been potentially a big deal if the game were closer. Guildmaster to underling. And I think, yeah, and that was the turn that I got the barbarian. So yeah, it wasn't really very impactful. It could have been impactful maybe if I'd gotten them earlier. I could have gotten them earlier, potentially. I don't know. The only other thing to say about this, I think, is that the bot did suffer from not clearing out its coppers. It had some weak turns in the later parts of the game. It also bought a gold, which I do kind of understand as a modify target, but you probably would be better off just modifying up the ladder into gold, or just getting to a province and then planning to mill provinces. Yeah, I thought it was drawing like reasonably well, sort of in the mid game, but I wasn't paying super close attention. Having all those coppers. I guess the other thing is because it had no elders, it did have like a decent number of capital cities, but like when town is the only plus buy and you don't have the elder, like it is kind of unfortunate. I mean, granted, elder itself is a stop card, so elder town doesn't mean that you don't have a stop card. But at least you're getting 4 coins out of that stop card rather than 2. And the elder can, potentially do other stuff instead. That being said, I don't know that the bot was like ever in a position where it was really going to be able to take advantage of it having like 3 or 4 buys anyway. So maybe that wasn't really much of a factor. I don't know. Like its deck does not look like, keeping in mind that like these 4 cards were like a capital city and an emissary and a modify and some other 5. This deck really doesn't look bad. So I'm not really sure why it was struggling as much as it was in the later part of the game. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.